I propose a moratorium on the development of any further Korean MMOs until we can figure out what the fuck is going on. It isn't solely remarkable that some of the worst MMOs in the history of the industry have come from the same country. It is also remarkable that they seem to suck in the same ways. Korean MMOs are soulless, derivative Skinner boxes. They are recycled dioramas where player agency, hell, even basic player input, is buried beneath an onslaught of relentless attempts to separate you from all of your money, occasionally interrupted by infantile storytelling and psychologically weaponized sex appeal. These games are an affront to the industry they operate within, to the country they represent, and to God. Before we can begin in earnest, here's my 5-second Patreon pitch. Get all videos 2 days early and ad-free for only $1 a month. It's the best deal in town. Allow me to introduce you to Odin Valhalla Rising, the latest MMORPG from South Korean publisher Kakao Games. In the interest of bringing you a review of this latest newcomer into the beloved MMO genre, I forced myself, against my better judgment and the desperate pleas of my friends and family, to play as much of this game as I could stomach. I can comfortably declare that I have had enough. Odin Valhalla Rising is ostensibly a video game, but the jury's still out on that. While its Norse setting makes it somewhat unique from its contemporaries, it still manages to look as generic and uninspired as the mountains of garbage that Korea has shipped out over the years. Like other MMOs that are destined to wither and die, Odin Valhalla Rising is a mobile game, masquerading as a full-fledged PC release. This becomes immediately apparent upon logging in, which isn't guaranteed by the way. Kakao has so much confidence in this game that they've allocated to it all of 9 servers, which are often at capacity, meaning that you just can't play it. That might actually be the game's greatest feature now that I think about it. While you're waiting in queue, you're treated to a piece of music that I am convinced was created using AI. I want you to listen to this segment. Do you hear that? The horn part is just slightly behind the beat, not enough to feel like an artistic decision, but certainly enough to suspect that some prompt engineering is afoot. Now, it could be my ears playing tricks on me, but with the nature of this game being automated from top to bottom, I wouldn't put it past them. If you do manage to log in, then you're treated to a cinematic with all of the overwrought visual flair appropriate for a Korean MMO, which exists solely to justify the salaries of the animators on staff. The audio in the cinematic isn't even mixed correctly. I want you to try to decipher what the narrator is saying in this clip, which is not doctored in any way. Take a listen. I'm offering a whopping 10 points to whoever can correctly guess what was said in the comments. Creating a character is an exercise in futility. The visual presentation and the sound design of each character archetype is strong, but it's ultimately meaningless. For example, each class has a title, a description, key factors to describe its style of play, a prescribed difficulty, and a varying set of qualities relating to damage output, crowd control, and so on. None of these things matter. There are literally 0 situations while playing this game in which any of those details have to be taken into account at all. These metrics exist by virtue of the developer's desire to create the illusion of choice. Whether you play a warrior or a rogue or a priest, the moment-to-moment experience of Odin Valhalla Rising is completely identical because of its automation. As soon as you wash up on this beach and begin your journey, which is being generous, it becomes immediately apparent that you're in store for an experience that would make Chinese water torture feel like a trip to the spa. Maybe there's a story in this game, I don't know, and I certainly don't care, but I will say this much with confidence. I know that my character is the chosen one because she can't remember anything.
Why were you on the ship to begin with? What? You don't remember anything.
Congratulations, the trope is fulfilled. Dialogue in this game is painful both to watch and to listen to, with vocal performances that were obviously lacking competent direction and a total disregard for lip syncing.
Take this. I know it's kind of old, but it should still give you some protection.
The mechanism which delivers you to the next horrendous conversation is an auto move button, which can be activated by simply clicking on your current quest. Then you can sit back and watch as your character shuffles over to his or her next objective along a predetermined path. The automation includes everything from interacting with NPCs to all combat encounters. By simply dragging downwards on your abilities, you can set them to activate on cooldown, meaning that the game totally plays itself. The only input necessary as you level through Odin Valhalla Rising is tapping on your next quest objective. For that reason, there's an argument to be made about whether or not this qualifies as a video game at all. The further I delved into it, the more I was convinced that it doesn't.
Isn't it great?
In a game where player input is completely unnecessary, quest design is boiled down to a single method. Odin Valhalla Rising could have the most innovative, challenging, and engaging quests in the history of the MMO genre. It certainly doesn't, but follow me here. It wouldn't make a difference, because the game is designed to solve itself. The quests the game does feature are the most boilerplate, milquetoast, cliche quests you can imagine in an MMO. Kill 5 sheep, kill 10 goblins, and so on. However, there is a greater problem than boring quest design. I want you to really consider the mixture of an autoplay feature with these simple kill quests. The process of completing these quests becomes a matter of course, because the player is never in danger of dying or running out of resources. All that remains is the time that is being burned into nothingness as you watch your character slowly add another body to the count. In all of my years playing MMORPGs, I have never felt a more acute sense of lost time as I did while I watched Odin Valhalla Rising play itself in front of me. As you progress through the game's story, which again is being generous, quests demand more kills to satisfy their requirements. You begin with 5 sheep, then you graduate to 10 goblins, then you regress back to sheep, only the game wants 15 this time. Not once, not twice, but in some cases 7 quests in a row, each demanding 15 kills, and none of them requiring you to press a single button. The game only demands your time, and it exacts its price with the greed of a bottomless pit into which you sacrifice the waking hours of your life in exchange for the worst gameplay in the known universe. There is something severely cynical about the way in which Odin Valhalla Rising transforms you into yet another bot in a dying MMORPG. Every player around you follows the same path at the same pace, clustered together in front of quest markers to form an eldritch abomination, before splitting apart and shuffling towards the next 15 monsters marked for death. While streaming the game, I was told by somebody in chat that the reason for the game's server congestion is due to a bot infestation, but I had to ask, what difference does a bot infestation make? There aren't any choices being made, or any interactions between players, or any inputs being registered in Odin Valhalla Rising. Everyone is a bot by the game's design. The truth is that this world is empty, even when it appears to be populated.
Why is it we still haven't found any clues? We're still oblivious about what is happening.
I can't help but think about all the money and time spent on writing dialogue, recording vocal performances, and animating cutscenes. What purpose does any of it serve? There's no one here. Anyone who is a living, breathing player couldn't care less. It's pointless padding for a meaningless story force-fed into a lifeless MMO. The only sign of life in Valhalla Rising comes in the form of incessant spamming from currency vendors in chat, offering you the best prices for diamonds at u4gm.com. Get 5% off with code DEADGAME today. I'm sorry, I had to do the voice. As you'd expect, there is a gacha system baked into this particular cake to encourage maximal spending from whoever's stupid enough to part ways with their hard-earned cash in exchange for a JPEG. The game is riddled with login rewards, free currencies, free summons, anything to get you entrenched enough to consider swiping your MasterCard. It's disgusting and frankly insulting to my intelligence. I am well aware that there are plenty of Korean MMOs out there that go to great lengths to inspire unhealthy spending habits from their player base. But at the very least, those MMOs have the decency to offer you a video game before they fleece you for all you're worth. Odin Valhalla Rising offers you nothing. Not a world to explore, not a gameplay system worth interacting with, certainly not a story worth following. It offers you absolutely nothing. I have to wonder why games like this exist and continue to be made. What could possibly inspire the loss of time and capital to create something as creatively bankrupt and implicitly hostile to players as this? Are any of the developers responsible for this monstrosity proud of themselves for wasting a 6-year development cycle on yet another MMORPG that will die unceremoniously within a year? I want you to imagine for a moment that you're a young game developer living in South Korea. You're hired by a new company called Lionheart Studio in 2018 to make a new MMORPG. You're psyched because you grew up playing Ultima Online, Dungeon Fighter Online, and World of Warcraft. You are positively brimming with passion, enthusiasm, and fantastic ideas to help create the next great MMO. You work tirelessly for 6 years, pouring your very being into this project, and at the end of your journey, you've built this. Odin Valhalla Rising is an MMO that is only worth forgetting. It is a dire testament to the dismal state of a genre that I have loved throughout my life and will continue to love in spite of the best efforts of Kakao Games. I can only hope, and I say this with the utmost sincerity, that Lionheart Studio experiences irrevocable financial losses as a result of this release, leading to an end of service announcement for Odin and the permanent closure of the studio. Is that harsh? Yeah, it certainly is. I think it's a shame when game developers lose their jobs. The thing is that the people responsible for creating Odin Valhalla Rising are not game developers. They are, at best, scam artists who masquerade as game developers, hoping to lure gullible and unassuming MMO enthusiasts into their currency exchange program that only superficially resembles a video game in order to extract from you as much money as they can before you realize that you've been conned. Let the travesty that is Odin Valhalla Rising serve as an ongoing reminder that the name Kakao Games should be seen as a warning label for anyone who truly loves MMORPGs. A quick order of business, ladies and gentlemen, this video was sponsored by JG Chowder on Patreon. If you love MMOs and want to see more videos like this, then head over to Patreon and get all videos 2 days early and ad-free for only $1 a month. It's the best deal in town. You can always support the channel for free by leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting that bell before you go. As tradition dictates, a few unscripted words before we go. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm moving over to a weekly upload cadence rather than just uploading whenever I have a video ready. Right now, the schedule that I'm going with is a Thursday upload, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so you can know exactly when new content goes live. For Patreon supporters, of course, you can expect new videos every Tuesday. Last thing, if this video was a bit too scathing for you and you want something more positive and fun, go check out my last upload, which is Stormwind's Hidden Food Crisis. It's a really pedantic WoW lore video going into the infrastructure of food distribution in Stormwind. I'm really proud of it and I think you'll enjoy it too. But that's all I have for you this week. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, check me out on Twitch, I've been streaming there a lot more. I'm probably live right now. And minding my manners, of course. Thanks for watching.